Before I give the virtual floor to our moderator, we just want to thank our YPA sponsors, BlackRock and BMW Group. That being said, I would like to welcome our friend Brett, who's the head of Google Cuba, who will be moderating today's conversation. Welcome, Brett. Thank you so much for joining us today, and the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Indira, for the wonderful introduction. For those of you that I don't know, my name is Brett Perlmutter, and it's my pleasure to moderate this esteemed panel with all-star panelists on behalf of American Society, Council of the Americas, the Young Professional of the Americas Steering Committee, and the Cuba Working Group. This, as Indira said, this is being hosted over Google Meet, which works very well in Havana, hopefully. And if not, you can hold me accountable. And today is not about anyone else but our three panelists. So Erich, Yasser, Adriana, everyone is here today to hear your stories and really to get an update about what is going on the ground in this climate in Cuba. So without further ado, I would like to introduce each one of you. So Yasser Gonzalez Cabrera is the founder and owner of Cicicleta, which is an enterprise dedicated to helping people discover Havana by bike. From Vedado, but really all over the city, Yasser offers private and group tours to explore what is the most insider of insider cities on the planet. He has single-handedly brought bicycle culture into the mainstream in Cuba. And case in point, he organized Havana's first ever critical mass event when hundreds of cyclists ride en masse throughout the city. I personally joined him on something called Vuelta de Noche, which is a night ride, and it was cinematographic. I've never seen any city like I saw Havana that night riding with Yasser. Our next panelist is Adriana Heredia Sanchez, who is an economist from the University of Havana and the founder of Beyond Roots Cuba, which opened its Havana storefront in the fall of 2019. Beyond Roots specializes in selling clothing, jewelry, home decor, and hair products that are Afro-Cuban in style and which promote Afro-Cuban culture within Cuba and to the world writ large. She started out by offering Afro-Cuban experiences to visitors through the Airbnb and other platforms, and focused on spanning different topics through her experiences in Afro-Cuban culture, Afro-Cuban culinary traditions, Santeria, and the Afro-Cuban visual arts. And last but certainly not least, it's a pleasure to welcome Erich Garcia-Cruz, who is the founder of the e-commerce site Bache Cubano. He is a self-described programmer, YouTuber, and jodedor. So for anyone who doesn't know what that means, I'll let you Google it. He's a lover of both technology and sarcasm. Erich's YouTube channel, where he gives tech tips and tricks, has over 50,000 subscribers, although his viewers are really much more because the show is distributed offline on the Paquete Semanal. I've described him as both being cool and school. He has a skill for breaking down complex technological issues into digestible nuggets, as you shall see. So those are our esteemed panelists. And to set the stage a little bit, a lot has happened in Cuba in the last year. We've had the Trump administration leaving with increased sanctions in Cuba. We've had the pandemic, and Cuba went through a long list of changes itself to really try to offset a contraction of 11% in its GDP. And of course, there was the unification of the dual currency system. So it's a very complex world that we're living in. We have three experts with us who live this day in and day out. And I would like to start with you, Adriana, who is our resident economist. So let's start with the unification of currencies. Can you explain to us succinctly what happened and what the implications for the Cuban private sector have been? So you'll want to unmute yourself if you can.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So, well, super happy to be here. And that's a tough question. As we say in Cuba, you went just directly to my lung, directo al pulmón. Let's do it. So, The monetary unification is a process that started in Cuba on January 1st of this year as a part of the monetary ordering process that the country is experiencing. And I think that is super interesting to understand the whole process as a whole thing. The monetary order entailed not only the monetary and exchange unification, that was, of course, the most complicated part, but also elimination of the subsidies, the modification of the price formation mechanism that we used to have, and even a wage reform. Why was all this necessary? Many of you know that in Cuba, until December of last year, we used to have two different currencies, the CUC and the CUP. And the problem was not only that we had two currencies, but also that we used to have two different exchange rates. Well, more than two, but I'm not entering into details. So for one side, we used to have the population exchange rate that was basically one CUC. Technically, the CUC was equal to the dollar, so it would be like one CUC equal to 24 CUP. But in the other side, you used to have the exchange rates for the state sector that was establishing that $1 was equal to one CUC equal to one CUP. And that was literally crazy. That was creating like a lot of difficulties in order to understand what was really happening in Cuban economy. We were just blind. The whole, let's say the whole statistical basis of the country was completely distorted, and we were not able to understand the real situation of the country. So basically, on January of this year, it was decided to eliminate the CUC in the circulation, and we just kept the CUP, the Cuban peso, and we also established like a new exchange rate. So right now, the official exchange rate of the CUP is one CUP equal to $1 is equal to 24 CUP. And that has implied like a huge devaluation of our currency in a context marked by the expansion of the coronavirus, the crisis in Venezuela, the interruption of many of our supply chains, the paralyzation of the tourism activity, and also the sanctions of the US against the island. So we can say that we are right now facing like a crisis. Many economists are even saying that it's comparable to the one that we face in the special period, but under these new conditions. So what are the main effects that it has had in our economy? I would say that the most tangible effect is the inflation. Right now, prices in the economy have almost tripled, and the value of the US dollar in the black market has raised until 50 CUP equal to $1. And this is actually an interesting indicator because we are not able to get US dollar in any other place. So literally the whole Cuban population need to go to the black market to get the US dollar. So that implies that you need to pay the double for this. For the private sector, the implications has been also serious. Most of our cost structure have been increased. So at the end, we also had to increase our prices. Our supply chain have been interrupted, so many of us are just trying to think how to stay open one more day. Let's say that this is like a brief resume.
What an unbelievable summary of a very, very complex issue. I think a lot of Cuba watchers were trying to understand what the implications would be and waited in anticipation of what this D-Day would be for currency unification. So it will be interesting in the coming months to see how it plays out. We know that in the short term, it's complicated. Hopefully this makes ultimately a better macroeconomic environment for outside investors. But while we're on the topic of currency, so there have been a reduction in the number of traditional currencies, call them fiat currencies in Cuba, but really an increase in the amount of currencies or coins, I shall say, that have traded hands. These are cryptocurrencies. So in this respect, Cuba is no different than the rest of the world in being caught up in the cryptocurrency frenzy. So I'd like Erich, if possible, to give us an update about these new types of currencies in Cuba, What are they and who is using them?
Well, hi everybody. Thank you, Brett, for the invitation to this meeting. I have to say that Adriana has right. The government just deleted the CUC to incorporate to the mind of the people the MLC. That's a digital currency who is being accepted with US dollar, with euro, with libra esterlina. And that bring a new process, a new revolution in the people markets and the people having of money. That revolution is the cryptocurrency phenomenon. You can see right now the people handling CUP, handling US dollar, handling Bitcoin, handling Litecoin, handling USDT, and all of those cryptocurrency has their own exchange rates. So you have to have in your mind the government exchange from dollar to CUP as a 24 CUP by dollar. But you have to have in your mind the informal exchange rate that is 50 CUP by dollar. But you have to have in your mind the cryptocurrency exchange for every CUP. So right now, Bitcoin is around 46 CUP for dollar. But Litecoin is around 45, 44. So you have to deal with tons of exchange rates as Cuban entrepreneur in this digital world. And that's the phenomenon in Cuba right now, that there is a lot of Cuban handling money, handling cryptocurrency, exchanging it, speculating in, using as payment method in the internet or in the community. It's amazing. I just have to say that.
It's truly amazing. And I think a lot of people, Erich, when they hear you describe the use of Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dash in Cuba, their jaws are literally on the ground right now. So are you telling us that there are people not only trading in this, but speculating in kind of a traditional macroeconomic way based in Cuba?
Oh, yeah. There's, as I told you before, there's a revolution. Many Cubans, I can say around 10,000 Cubans are using cryptocurrency right now. And they are living literally in cryptocurrency as myself. They buy things over internet and get as a package delivery in Cuba. They pay for services, they pay for products. And that economy, I know it's a microeconomy, but it's working. It's a smart solution to the inflation, to this irrational exchange rate with the US dollar right now in the informal market. So that's the way, or that could be a smart way to resolve that problems.
So Erich, what exchanges are Cubans using to trade cryptocurrency?
Right now, they're using mainly two exchanges. There is KuCoin.com and there is Pionex.com. Those are international exchanges. So in the informal exchange, they use Telegram groups, WhatsApp groups. I am pushing right now the use of CubaPay.com. There is a custom solution for that. And the people are making money with it. The people are so smart and so intelligent to the increase of the price of certain money, certain cryptocurrency, and predict that and make money with that speculation here in Cuba.
Unbelievable. So I have to ask you, Erich, there's been an important company going public today, Coinbase. It's been all over the news. Do you have any views on Coinbase going public?
Wow, I have been using Coinbase around 3 years ago. And well, we had a special podcast weeks ago talking about those restrictions to the Cubans, why we can't make a merchant account. I'm really happy about Coinbase, but once again, Coinbase doesn't recognize me as a businessman over internet, and sorry for that, can't use it. But I think that APO will be huge. Today we are waiting for stock price around $600. I don't believe me, but that's the prediction.
Unbelievable. And thank you very much for your views on that stock. I think what we're getting at is changing of cultures, right? And there's this kind of shift into digital culture, right? Also while maintaining la suya, la propia, right? There's this like unbelievable balance that's happening without giving up what is truly Cuban, and also adapting with these new advances, right? Yasser, I would love to know your views about shifting culture, because you have yourself kind of led a movement and turned yourself into a cultural icon all around the bicycle.
Yeah. Hi. Thank you for having me here in this meeting with Adriana and Erich. Yeah, well, my business is a kind of introduction of culture in Havana. And yeah, we can tell that we used to have a lot of bicycles in the 90s, specifically during the special period when the economic crisis shut down most of the public transportation. Fidel Castro making to bring about 1 million of bicycles from China. So everyone was riding here. But what happened later, when the Cuba economy started to get better, at the end of the 90th decade, and was that the government stopped supporting the bicycle in Cuba. So the bicycles started to disappear because people couldn't to repair their bicycles. I cannot tell that in that time people developed a culture around the bicycle. People were taking the bicycle as the last resort to move for mobility, but they couldn't integrate the bicycle in their life completely, because many facilities that we need for the bicycle in cities didn't were implemented in that time. Then many years later, in 2014, I used to be a programmer. I'm engineer in computer science. I always dreamed with having my own project. I didn't use the name of a business, negocio in Spanish, but I wanted to do something by myself. I was thinking like, I didn't want to be like a programmer making solutions for other companies. I want to have my own company like Facebook. And somehow I wanted to make a kind of Airbnb before Airbnb arrived in Cuba. It was an idea to make a guide online to help everyone wanting to meet the real Cuba. And I started to be a blogger. I'm talking that we didn't have internet in that time. I was using the internet of my company, my estate company. I used to work 8 hours during the day, and then at midnight I started to work 2 hours more just to do social media. In that time I got popular outside of Cuba. No one in Cuba was connecting. And a Cuban living in Switzerland find me, and we started to talk about businesses. Was already 2010 when the government of Raúl Castro allowed businesses in private. in Cuba. So I have to be honest, the idea of having a business with bicycle wasn't my own idea. I joined this friend with this guy that I met on Facebook, basically. We became friends in person once he arrived in Cuba. He proposed to open to join him to this idea of bicycle tours in Havana. So I'm a co-founder of this first business in Havana, but you know, I have never think about making money with bicycle. I used to be a computer science guy, you know. Yeah, that was the first big shift shifting between cultures.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, later, maybe it's in your question. Later, while I was learning more about this business, because we didn't have reference in Cuba. I used my skill as computer science. We learn at the university. We learn how to do we call reverse engineer. So I was visiting websites, studying their businesses, because I know how to make the right website for a business. I did the opposite. How to make the right business looking other websites. So that was that I started to do with this business. Yeah, I was the second guy, the second man in this business, to learn how to be entrepreneur in that time.
It's a brilliant story, and I think what you're touching on is a theme that I think the three of you share, because I see Erich and Adriana nodding along to certain aspects of what you're saying, which is you're really doing much more than giving bicycle tours, right? And Adriana, you're really doing much more than selling home decor and clothing. And Erich, you're really doing much more than giving a review of Cinco, right? Right. The three of you
advertising.
Sorry, or the Huawei, whatever, to be agnostic. But you're really, the three of you share the fact that you're on missions, I think. And Yasser, we heard a little bit more about your cultural mission. And Adriana, I'm wondering if you and Erich could tell us a little bit more about the mission that you're on with your businesses as vehicles for that mission.
Great. So,
Lady first.
thank you. So, Beyond Roots, basically, we aim to promote Afro-Cuban culture from different perspectives. We are promoting a lifestyle based on connection with your identity, with connection with your roots. The idea of what we want to achieve is to inspire people. We want people to grow, people to be inspired, people to be themselves, people just empower people. We want to take away all the kind of stereotypes that sadly we still can see in the Cuban society about Black people, or the way we have or we have our hairs, for instance. So basically what we are doing is creating a community of support. And this is super interesting because at the very beginning, as you know, Beyond Roots started as an international project. As Yasser, we were just having one experience on Airbnb, then we created other experiences. And in some point, we had the idea of the store, and the store started just as a project of a souvenir store, just focusing on tourism. Like I was identifying that there was a lack of this kind of things in the Cuban markets about Afro-Cuban culture, and we were just focused on tourism. And something curious happened. People in Cuba were reaching me saying, like, I also feel connected with my roots. I also want to show in the street with my t-shirt that I'm proud of my roots, or I am proud of being Black. And in that moment, something in my head may click. It's like, oh my God, as a Black girl, I also will feel super proud about it. And I don't find these kind of things in Cuba. And from that day, I realized that, yes, we had to create like a community in Cuba. We were just starting like some kind of movement, and now a lot of people reach me every single day saying like, oh my God, Adriana, thank you so much. Finally, after 40 years, I decided to have my natural hair. And it is unbelievable, but I didn't know what was my hair texture. And now I'm accepting myself. So for me, that needs to be the Beyond Roots missions: inspire people, empower people, make people to feel connected, and overall, just that be who you want to be need to be our lifestyle.
So I have to say, I've seen your graphic t-shirts that are so catchy that says, Yo amo mis rizos, with a big heart. I love my rizos are curls. And they're catchy and iconic. And I see how people walking around wearing that is inspiring for what you're trying to achieve. Erich, you're a man on a mission, but I would say you're also a man on many missions. What are you up to?
Let me first say that me too love my rizos. Okay. We are a lot of very amount of hair in this group. Well, yeah, Brett. Look, as I told in early videos, I was a teacher. I was a primary school teacher. I teach first and second grade. I teach to 25 children to read and write. And that is a vocational interest. There is no money behind that. That is a passionate job. Then I got this fever of entrepreneurship, and well, I remember the day before I start making videos in YouTube, I told my wife, well, Natasha, let's make a YouTube channel tomorrow with speaking about technology and mobile phones and everything we can explain to our community. And she looked at me, what are you saying, man? You are a businessman. What are you doing videos in YouTube? What are you talking about? And I do it, and I find my niche. That's a very important subject. I think Adriana find it, and I think Yasser also do it. You have to find your niche. My niche is teaching with didactic, with pedagogy, and explain to my community the most hard to explain subjects with the most easy, comprehensive language. That language is a mix of Cuban language. We are jodedores, as you told before. Which Cuban is not a jodedor? And I think that is my successful channel right now with 56,000 subscribers today. Just explain hard tech things with the most easy to understand language applied to Cuban people. Anyway, tomorrow I will deliver a video explaining quantum computer. Imagine that with a Cuban language. Also add to it the use of cryptocurrency as a freedom to the actual sanctions, as a freedom to the actual limitations over internet to us, the Cubans. Think Yasser in a solution with where you can sell your experience using crypto gateways. No fiat money here. So anyway, there is a lot of solution using cryptocurrency as payment gateway in your business. That's my niche. That's my focus in the business. Explain and then find solution with cryptocurrency tool.
Brilliant. So you guys are doing truly amazing things in a very tough environment. And specifically, I want to refer as one data point that the Trump administration left a lot more restrictions on Cuba before there was a change on the US side. In particular, and maybe this was felt more acutely, there was an end to many types of travel to Cuba for US citizens. Has that affected at all your business, and if so, how? And we can start with anyone who wants to answer.
Yeah, I can do it. Yeah. Well, my business is not working. It's closed because the pandemic. My business to declare that depend completely in tourism mostly coming from US. I cannot do much about that because my business doesn't work well with the local market, with locals. Um, when I founded my business, I founded with the idea to create proposition value for the locals as well. That I needed to try. My first try was the Vuelta de Noche, where you join us one time. Then I created another bicycle ride for free for locals. Yeah, I needed a long time to understand how to merge my passion, my passion for exchange with the business in one place. I used it all this time this year that I was just in home studying. I actually tomorrow I finish a fellowship with a YLA that is supported by the American state.
What is YLM, Yasser?
YLA is the youth of youth leaders of America initiative. It's a program for entrepreneurs to improve the leadership in our businesses or projects, non-profit. And what I love it about this program is the focus into the social impact. So today I can say that I'm a social entrepreneur. I understand myself today thanks to this program, because I had all this conflict that I my business is to make money, but I don't want all the money to me. I want to use the money to improve cycling in Havana. And today I can tell that
So we lost Yasser, which is okay because he will rejoin. But in the meantime, maybe Adriana or Erich, you wanted to answer from your perspective if the increased U.S. restrictions on Cuba have affected anything you're doing.
Well, in my case, we have different lines of work, and one of the line of works is, of course, the experiences. So we had 5 different experiences in our hometown here in Guanabacoa, which is not a touristic area at all, and we were employing more than 24 people on that activities. And since the tourists right now is like not coming to the isla, well, that part of our business model have been paralyzed completely. Luckily, on 2019, we had the idea of opening the store for the Cuban market, and that's why now Beyond Roots still is operating. Of course, we have been facing a challenge because at the very beginning, I was designing our business model, trying just to, let's say, like distribute the incomes. I was having this model of, okay, I'm making money from the experiences because this money comes from tourists, and that will allow me to sell the products for the people in Cuba in lower prices. In that way, I was creating this balance because also I have like a lot of people in our community that doesn't have like a lot of resources, and I understand that they also need the products we offer. Not the t-shirts, for instance, or not home decor, but the hair care products, for instance. So, we used to have that model, and it was functioning like really well. I was feeling actually really cool because it's like, okay, tourists are having an impact beyond our. Actually, if you were coming to Beyond Roots experiences, you were also contributing that a lot of people in Cuba, mainly Black people in Cuba, could access also like hair care products and so on. With non-tourists, we had to change our business model. We had like a lot of people in the team that is not working right now. I relocated some of them, but other ones doesn't have like work content. And it has been really, really tough for us. Every single day we are just rethinking what are we gonna do, and every day we face like a different challenge. But I think that that's part of just being Cuban.
Oh yeah.
It's an excellent example in resilience that's inspirational for any entrepreneur and pivoting, really. And Erich, we want to hear what you have to say. I know, Yasser, we lost. Was there anything you wanted to do to conclude your thoughts on this subject, Yasser, before we get to Erich?
Yeah, thank you. Connection in Cuba. Yeah, I lost my thread yeah, I wanted to say that at the beginning when I started my business, I was lucky to be in a party, and I met a girl who told me about Airbnb experiences that they were planning to open in the world. Right, it was a few months before, and this gave me the opportunity to just jump to the pool and start my own thing, because I wanted to be free, be my own boss, and to be free to dedicate my business to the local community as well. But I didn't have my own. I didn't have enough money to invest and buy my own bicycles and my own stuff. What I had a lot was here in my mind, my brain, a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge about how to use the internet. And then I proposed, I accepted the challenge to be one of the first Airbnb hosts in the world. And then I proposed to my Xbox to just join in a partnership where I could rent the bicycles and run my own company. So basically, I created a company with not many physical stuff. I prefer to focus on the products, on the experiences, or bike tours, forming my team, because it's a job that no one knows in Cuba before. Some people thought that I don't know, I speak English, I know how to talk to tourists. No, it's not enough. We are responsible for those people in the street, riding on the street, and you have to learn a lot with me before your first ride with other people. And yeah, basically this model, creating partnership with this business and other business, allow me to start to consolidate businesses, bike businesses, into the community, because I was already doing ride for the community, for the riders. But to me, I thought that businesses had to be part of these communities as well. And I created the first link between a couple of businesses with my new business. And this allowed me to create my business. And second, was cheaper, because I didn't need, sorry, much money, a lot of money to buy my own bicycle.
It's brilliant.
In this partnership,
it's
it's
really a good
working.
example, yeah.
I
Sorry.
Sorry.
I just wanted to highlight, it's a great example of businesses helping businesses and forming an entire entrepreneurial ecosystem.
Yeah, thank you. And I wanted to jump to cryptocurrencies because it was a real situation when I was talking with one of these partners. You know, I think because inflation, he told me, because inflation, we had to rise the. I go, hey, we cannot do that. If we raise the prices, we will be more expensive than euros. No one will take a bicycle tour in Havana. And we were studying like for 2 hours in a call, ideas, and we say we don't have a solution right now, but what we are doing is studying cryptocurrencies for at least to have some internal way for payments and not be affected by the inflation that is growing like 5.5 unity every month.
It's a great point. And
Erich,
I see you. No, I see Erich nodding along, and I wanted to see if you had anything to add, Erich, in terms of crypto or any other bridges that have been remedies in light of a tough situation.
Well, Yasser, right now it's a great moment to think about it because you can create a custom token with and use it as payment method in your business, or as a royalty program, or as I don't know, gift. You can gift to your community with a contest. So many ways, so many kinds of develop your business into the cryptocurrency world that you have to do it right now. I will share my contacts later with Brett. We can make a smart reunion there. And yeah, man, think about it. Yeah.
This is the ecosystem happening live. I love it. Great. So we have some questions from the audience. Before I get there, I wanted to do one just kind of like lightning round, if you guys can give me quick answers. So I've gotten to know Adriana at actually another one of these panels in person before the pandemic. Yasser, I met on a bicycle, and Erich, we met in the cloud, man. And that's appropriate. The one other thing that you have between the three of you is you have unbelievable senses of humor, and everyone here can see it. It's palpable. Why is having a sense of humor so important to being an entrepreneur? Let's start with you, Erich, in one sentence.
Every Cuban is a master in the sense of humor. I don't have word to that.
Okay, Adriana.
I think that is facing life with a positive feeling or with a positive sense. We said in Cuba that we are the only people in the world that laugh about the bad things that happen to you. So you could be in the worst situation and we will be laughing all the time. That's it.
Yasser.
That's true. I had an accident with a French friend, and yeah, I was laughing at the hospital, and she couldn't understand why. Everyone thought, don't worry, it's because of the shock. He's laughing because of the shock. Yeah, well, I have no sense of humor, actually.
That's the best joke we've heard during this session.
Well, let me tell you know, Brett, I always bring you a little history. Last time was about my mother in Angola. Right now I have a really small history. I remember my childhood when I was around 7 or 8 years age. I remember it was 94, 95 years, really tough years. Both my mother and my father was biology teachers in a school, in a secondary school, high school there, I don't know. And I remember they go to the school, they bring their classes, I go to my school, and then when they return from their job, we just make our own home. Still, I have to, with 8 years, load blocks and rise up walls to make our own house, and then we have to make a placa. I don't know how to say the roof with a placa. I don't know. With 8 years, and we were happy. We were a really happy family with a lot of problems, with a lot of bad situation to live. That's Cuba, man.
It's maybe the best training to be an entrepreneur, period, right? And perhaps key to why the three of you have been so successful. We have a question from a participant, Axel Cabrera, who says, how much has Cuba's private sector changed with the recently approved extended list for cuentapropistas? And is it beneficial to Cuban society? So for context here, the Cuban government historically made around 120 different professions available for people to do in a non-state capacity. So in their own capacity, which is called cuentapropismo, right? That list has been expanded to around 2,000 professions. What are your views on that? And any one of you can answer.
So
I want to, Adriana,
first
answer
of
this.
all,
That I want to make some context, because I'm learning a lot during this fellowship, and I know now that the U.S. state support private sector. You can find in their website, government website, a lot of content, everything that you need, detailed step by step, how to open a business, and how you can choose the kind of business that you want to do, a non-profit, a co-op, or a big company. We have nothing like that in Cuba. When you decide to open a business in Cuba, you are in your own. You will be lucky if you have if you know someone who started a business before. Otherwise, you have to. I don't know. That there is no way. We have not studied. We have not school. There is a project that belong to the church where you can learn about businesses, but this working in small scale. It's very limited. It's called Cuban Emprende. It's not enough. Many people don't know even about this course. Go ahead, Adriana.
And Adriana, you're going to add some thoughts.
I will jump in. I have to say that every time someone asks me what is the biggest challenge for an entrepreneur in Cuba, or what is the biggest concern, I all the time have the same answer. For me, it's the uncertainty. It's like you never know if your business is totally legal. You never know if you are doing the things like straight to the law. So for me, that's the worst thing that can happen, because I can fight with like no resources, I can fight with lack of knowledge, I can fight with a lot of different things. But when you are not secure about the basis of what you are building, then you have a problem. And maybe your business exists today and you are very successful and you have like a lot of employees and you have a lot of recognition from your customers, but it's not completely legal. And maybe tomorrow you can have, or you can find a law that say like, okay, this is not allowed anymore. So for me, that's uncertainty. And with this announced, it was actually better, because finally you don't have to be attached to this list of things that are allowed. Now you have a list of prohibited activities, which basically allow you to move from the illegal territory where we were in. In Cuba, everyone, I'm sure you can ask any of us, and you can laugh about the license we have, because for being a cuentapropista, you need to have a license. For instance, I host experiences with a license of organizer of weddings, birthdays, and other activities. So literally, I'm an organizer of weddings. But at the end, what it means is that I also organize other activities, and the experience enter on that activities. And that's illegal. That's not true, because tomorrow maybe they can say like other activities except Airbnb experiences. So that was my fear every single day. Literally, I wake up at 6:30 and just grab my phone and go to Gaceta Oficial. I go to this public web where you have all the laws that are coming up every day. And I was like, I exist one more day. I exist. That was the feeling. But with this now, it's like you will have more like flexibility. And the idea is that you present a project, and all that is described in that project that is not in the list of the prohibited activities, you can do it, which led us to a better situation. Of course, that's not like perfect. There are a lot of good activities that are inside of the prohibited list. For instance, the one that Yasser and I do with tourists, like being tourist guides is not allowed in this list, which is not final approved yet. So I can tell you right now what is the impact that is having, because actually it's not happening yet. It's like with the situation of the COVID, the offices that are in charge of receiving the proposals and so on are not working on that. So we are not able to estimate the impact yet. So basically, that's my opinion. I think that is like a step forward. Of course, we need to have more things. We need to have finally juridic personality. I need to be Adriana, not the cuentapropista, that Beyond Roots exists beyond a brand. I need that Beyond exists as a business. And that's not clear yet in the law. Of course, it's not clear if I can have like foreign investment as an enterprise, for instance. In a legal way, I can have like foreign investment in my business. For instance, I have a co-founder, and in front of the law, we are not related in the business because it's just me, a cuentapropista, and he is a cuentapropista. So at the end, you can even have like a relationship with your co-founder. So it's crazy, but I think that we are moving slowly, but in the right directions.
This is great, and it ties in actually with another question from Fulton Armstrong, who asks, are there indications that the party Congress this month will reduce that uncertainty? So as we know, the PCC is meeting this month in their party in Congress. One example, I think, Adriana, that you touched on in a way that uncertainty could be reduced for entrepreneurs is to give entrepreneurs legal personality in the sense of forming a legally recognized small and medium-sized business, or something similar to what in the US would be an LLC, right? So you're actually operating with an entity. Is there any indication that that could happen, that other ways uncertainty could be reduced?
That's not happening this year, actually. So the party Congress, what it's gonna do is review all the things that were approved for the last 4 years. So right now, it has been established that the PYME, like medium and small enterprise policy, is not something that's gonna happen this year. It's in the agenda for next year. So we are just crossing fingers and hoping the best.
Great. Do you, Erich, Yasser, any other thoughts relating to the PCC?
Well, I don't know anything about the agenda of the PCC meeting. I just want to say in the previous question, I don't like at all the word cuentapropista. Anytime, I never liked it. So I really love the word emprendedor or the word entrepreneurship. So I remember a tweet yesterday from a follower who told me, hey, Erich, what is the best knowledge their schools can give in Cuba, but is not giving? And my answer was just one word: business. Of course, in Spanish, negocios. I can't not mention any time, anywhere do I have to tell how do I increase my incoming profits or anywhere. The just great school that was Cuba Emprende. It was, I I get that knowledge in 2000 and in 2017, and it was great. I just think it's a knowledge that every Cuban has to get in the early years of their student academy, because that's the knowledge you need to increase your earnings and develop your brain to make business everywhere. So I respect the teaching of physics, biology, math, Spanish, but you have to teach also business in the Cuban society. I think so.
It's brilliant, and it doesn't get a more ringing endorsement for Cuba Emprende than that. I just want to shout out that we have Jorge Mandilego and John McIntyre here joining us in the audience. So really huge props and a major applause for your work. You're hearing it from some of the folks who've been through that program.
Oh, wow. Welcome. I don't know. I don't expect how Adriana say they have scheduled the time is for to 2022. The last year during the pandemic, the government started to talk about the payments, and we thought that maybe they are going to accelerate this process, but actually not. I feel like they need time. They need time because they have a huge problem with the economy. The food supply is not working. We are having problems about getting food in our shop, and they have a priority on that and make people believe in something, because the ¿cómo se dice animal in English? The mood of the people is not going pretty well. It's we are a strong people. I believe it, but there are limits. It's the same everywhere. I know, but it's hard when families are spending too long time in queues just for getting some food. In this context, sometimes as Yasser, I wanna do something like I wanna talk more about business, and I don't know. I wanted the government solve this uncertain situation, but also I told myself, it's not the right moment. You have to be patient for your moment, because there is a lot going on, and yeah, we are in a laboratory. They are trying to fix our problems. That one of the problems is that they are trying to keep doing what they were doing for a long time. Yeah, they are learning by doing. Yeah, in the middle we are here laughing.
Right. Well, if anyone can give a lesson in learning by doing, it would be entrepreneurs. So congratulations to everything you've achieved. We are at time. I want to close by doing one more lightning round. So you have a lot of people in the audience who have joined from both Cuba, actually, but majority have joined from the United States. So in one sentence, what do you want to tell the folks in the United States? And we'll do it very quickly. So starting with you, Adriana.
Why me? Always at the very beginning.
You're my favorite to call on.
I think that I would say understand Cuba, respect our work. This is something that we all the time ask, because when you are inside, you see the things in different ways, and sometimes when people are out.
Oh, Adriana, you are cutting out. We're gonna cut back to you. Erich, go for it.
Well, I have to say to the U.S. people that we have a very love to give to you people. We have really a lot of things in common, and we need to make boundary and just be friends anyway.
Beautiful. Adriana, back to you. It looks like your connection is better. If you want to just quickly repeat what you said.
I will resume it in 3 words: understand, respect, and support. That would be my message for people. Just experience Cuba, understand, and come and support.
Thank you, Adriana. Yasser.
Yeah, I have kind of the same message of Erich. You know, Americans, we are Americans as well. We are neighbors. We are very close. We should have more contacts, people to people. Yeah, we can learn a lot from each other. You can learn about how to laugh when you get an accident or you are having a bad time, and we can learn a lot about business from you. You are welcome here.
Great. Well, with that, we will conclude. Thank you so much, Yasser, Erich, Adriana. It's been an immense pleasure. Thank you so much, Indira, for creating this programming and bringing it to all of us. And a huge thanks to the America Society and Council of the Americas, the YPA, and the CWG. This has been an immense pleasure. Please, everyone who joined us, look up Beyond Roots, look up Bache Cubano, look up Sidicleta, and support the amazing work that these 3 entrepreneurs are doing.
Thank you so much, Brett, and especially thank you to Adriana, to Yasser, and to Erich. Thank you so much for sharing your insights, and Brett, for guiding this important conversation. We hope we continue to hear great things about you, and always know that you can find a home and a place to share your stories with the Council of the Americas community. So we hope we see you all soon, and thank you to our members and our YPA community who joined today. Have a great evening.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
Thank you so much, and thank you for everyone staying until the end of this session.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, and come to Cuba and let's ride in a bicicleta anyway. with a reason, please.
Brett, I have a bigger speaker now. It's like a huge backpack. You will dream in the bicycle with boom boom boom.
I can't wait. We literally walked out to the best playlist I've ever listened to riding through Havana. So I'm looking forward to not only the larger speaker, but to your next playlist.
The beer, you know, the beer. I pay the beer. You can and say day and place.
Erich, we count on you for the party. You know this. That's a given.
Bye, guys.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right.
Chao, gracias.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Okay.
Gracias.
Bye bye.